Hi, Code Queen Nayeli. I know you've been waiting for this video. A lot of you have been asking me for this specific video for a long time. Wix Code email notifications. Crazy! So, if you subscribe to the Wix community channel, you probably already got the notification. The video got uploaded there first. You just never know where I'm going to upload the video, so you have to subscribe to both channels. Subscribe to this one so you can get new Wix Code tips, tricks, but also subscribe to the Wix community channel because you don't know if I'll be uploading a video or if another Wix expert designer will be uploading a video of very interesting things. So here's this one. Enjoy. Hi, Code Queen Nayeli. So this is a video that, sorry, there's like something going on with my hat. I tilted one way and it goes the wrong way on my screen. Everybody's been waiting for this video. I'm going to show you how to code and activate email notifications on your custom built Wix Code form. I know, I'm so excited too. Okay, so there's a catch. Sorry, there is. SendGrid is the provider that is used in the example code in the Wix Code articles. And so therefore, I created an account through SendGrid so I can test out the code and see if I can make it work, which it does work. I'm going to show you step by step. I promise it's easy. All you have to do is watch this video and follow me step by step. So if I go too fast, put pause on the video, go back, watch it again, take your time. Nobody's watching you at home. All eyes are on me, so you're good. Take your time. First, I'm going to go over SendGrid. So this is SendGrid.com. All I did was click on pricing to check out their prices. If I'm understanding this correctly, this says during the trial, there is a trial, for 30 days you're able to send up to 40,000 emails. And then after that, it's 100 emails per day, free forever with the trial. No credit card required, which is true. I signed up, no credit card needed. But I was just not sure if that meant after the trial finished, after those 30 days, and you didn't upgrade, you would have 100 emails per day free forever, or if you sign up for something and then on top of that you get those extras. I wasn't quite sure, and I tried to look through their whole website, so that's all I can tell you, what it says right there. So if you want to test out this code, I'm going to sign up through here, and I'm going to share this API code after I do sign up, so that way you can test it out in case you just want to see if it works. I'm going to click on Get Started. If you do choose to get a testing account or a free account, a free trial, just follow these steps, follow with me, that way you can do it. So at the very top, I just left it at the way it was. Actually, no, I changed it. I want the free trial. So I'm going to select the free trial, 0 per month, and I'm going to activate a new account. So, I think I'll put pause on the video so you don't see this part. 1 second, be right back. Back. So what I did was I selected a username, password, and now you know what the username is, right? And an email address to create the account. So after you do that, you fill in basically information about yourself. So I'm going to do this. My phone number, in case anybody wants to text me or call me, say hi, is 956-884-4Wix. I'm going to put my wixrgb.com page. I'm going to put other. What do I plan on doing? I'm just going to use our API. How many emails? Not that many. 1 to 100,000. How many employees do I have? Between 1 and 500 for sure. And I'm going to click Save. So after you save your credentials, it should send you an email to confirm your account. Once you confirm your account, you're able to use the account. So make sure you do confirm it. After you confirm it, you're going to see this, welcome. Send your first email. And it'll say integrate using our web API. So in this section, I'm going to click Start. After I click Start, choose what method you're going to be using. We're going to use the web API, so you're going to select this one. And then from here, you're going to select what type of language you're going to put. And they don't mean English or Spanish. They mean what type of coding language. So for this example, we're going to use Java. Now remember, follow this video so you can do all the steps correctly. This information, these steps, are not listed in the Wix article. I had to figure this out on my own. It wasn't too difficult, so high five for me. Now you're ready to create your Java language API code. So here you get to give it a name. We're on step 2. And put whatever name you want. So I'm going to label mine test Wix Code email. Click Create Key. So after you create it, the key will appear here. Make sure that before you move from this page, you copy and paste the key somewhere because you will not be able to see it again. If you accidentally click Next or you get off of this page and you don't see it, you're going to have to start over. The reason I'm showing you this key is so that you can use this key and use it in the code to test it out. If you don't want to open up a testing account through SendGrid or a new account or a premium account, you're welcome to use this key code. Once it uses up all the free ones that we have, well, then it uses it up. I won't be using it, but I will also include this key in the custom code that I will be showing you in a bit. So you have the key, and then it gives you a whole bunch of instructions that I did not read because basically Wix read it for me, and they actually created whatever needed to be done with all of these requirements. So all I did was click here. I've already integrated the code, and I'm going to click Next to verify, which we will, but I'm clicking that button just so it'll save. Now I'm going to go to the Wix article. I will provide a link to this article in the description of this video, so make sure you read the description. This article is how to send an email on form submission. It's a very fancy article. Lots of big words that I do not know. Do I have coding experience? No. 0. This is why I'm making my videos. Not only because it'll help me and I can watch myself over and over to remember what I did the first time, but also to help you. Because if I can figure this out, you can totally figure it out too and do it at home. So what this fancy stuff is saying is you have to know how to do a few things before you actually start following the steps in this article. This article assumes that you already know how to create an input form. If you don't know how to create a form, watch the other videos so you can follow along and learn how to drag and drop, customize your form, connect it to the database, and have all the settings done correctly. Once you create a form, they're also expecting you to know a little bit about web modules and a little bit about backend functions. I didn't know what web modules were. I definitely did not know what backend functions were. So I started reading a little bit about this. And I'm going to go over it very briefly. So, a backend service call. This is basically saying if you want to use a third-party anything, in their example here, they're using a third-party weather service. You're going to be adding a code so that way it calls this little app weather service. It uses their API access key in order to fetch some information, and then it passes through in the back end. if I read correctly and understood it correctly, it's located in the back end and not inside of your page code, because in the back end it will be protected, it'll be secure. So that's what I kind of took from that. That's all you need to know. That's what the back end is, somewhere in the back. For the front end, basically you're telling it you're gonna write a code and you're gonna tell it, in the back end I have a specific code with a specific API key that is secret and it's secure, and on this module, which is in the front end, I need you to do these things. You're going to get this name, you're going to get this email, you're going to get this other thing, and you're going to use that other code, and these two codes are going to work together to do something on my page. So that's what the web module is. It's in the front. That's all you need to know about that. I'm going to close them up. I'll provide the links so that way you can read them. So those are the prerequisites. You move down. It says the form. You can create a brand new form. You can create this identical exact form that they're showing you here, or you can use one that you already have on your website. They have 4 user input elements and 1 button to submit, to perform the submit function or action. So not only did they show what it looks like, they told you what each user element is. It's a text input, a drop down, a text box, a button, and then they even use the data set inside of their page. The ID number, the reason you want to know the ID number is because they actually provided the example code at the bottom, and the ID numbers are located somewhere in the example code. That way you can cross-reference and know that whenever it says submit button, I know that it means the button, so whatever you named your button, you're just going to replace that ID name. Maybe your button is called button 1. Well, their button is called submit button. So this is why they added the IDs, so that way you can know what to replace and with what to replace it with. They also wrote down the usage, what each one is for. They're using the input element to enter a name. They're using the email input element to enter an email address, etc., etc. So it tells you exactly what each one was used for in the form. So, backend functions. The first thing that you need to do is you're going to create the backend functions. One is a .jsw. The other one is a .js. Now, I've already copied and pasted these two over here. I will provide a link to this page so that we can get the article, the exact code from the website. First, I'm going to add a web module .jsw. I'm going to name it email. So here I go. I'm going to copy. That's not the one. This is the one. And inside of my editor, after you go to tools and you turn on the developer tools, you're going to see the site structure on the left-hand side. If you don't see this, look at the very bottom of the page. There's a little arrow. Click on that arrow. It opens and closes that little section. So once you have that section, you're going to see here, these may be open or closed. Look for the one that says Backend. You can open it up so you can see what's there. Notice I have nothing there so far. You can either click here, add a new web module, or right on the very side there's a little plus sign, so you can click there as well. This, as soon as you click it, this is where you're going to write the name. So we're going to name ours email. If you name it something different, make sure that you change that name. Everywhere where you see email.jsw in the example code, make sure you switch it out to whatever you actually named this module. So for this tutorial, email. So there we go. It already created the .jsw. It has a bunch of code already. I'm going to delete all of it. I don't need it. I don't know what it says anyway. So I'm going to delete it. I'm going to paste the other code that was already done. Now this code that I'm pasting, it says 2 things. One, for the export function, there's one called send email. It's going to send an email with subject and body. This one is going to send an email to I want to say permanently defined email addresses, which means I type them in here and these will never change. I probably said the wrong vocabulary to explain it, but you know. So the sender, I wrote one email. I'm going to change this out. I'm going to put from Nayeli at webxdesigns.com, and then to, I'm going to put help at webxdesigns.com, which is basically to myself, from myself to myself. Why do I need this part? This one is basically like an internal email notification. Somebody fills out my form, I want to be notified, hey, somebody filled out my form. So this is an email from me to me. It could be the same email from sender recipient. I just decided to switch it out just because. Wanted to be fancy. So that's that first part. The second part says send email with recipient. So that means I'm going to send it out from me, Nayeli at webxdesigns.com. And then this little function is going to be used in a different code from the page and calling out to another backend module, because it's going to send it to the actual person that's filling in their email address. It'll send it to that email address typed into the form. So now I have two notifications, one for me, from me, and one to the person from my form. So those two will be sent out. Now, if you are copying this code exactly as it is, just so you can test it out, and you did not create your own SendGrid account, then leave the rest as is. If you did create your own SendGrid account and you do have your own API key, then you're going to fill it in. If your code looks identical to mine, it should be on line number 6 where it says key equals, and then there's this big long jibber jabber of a bunch of letters and dots and numbers and stuff. So that's where you would replace that whole thing with your own key. In this case, I'm just going to use my key, which will be in the example code, and paste it there on both function codes. So that's done. Now that we have the first code in place, we need to create the .js. This one is actually performing the function of, hey, there's a API. I want to use SendGrid in order to send this out. Look at all these things. So this is what it's going to do. I'm going to copy and paste. And in Backend, I'm going to add a new .js file. I'm going to name it SendGrid. Oops. I'm going to rename it SendGrid. And there you go. So it's blank. We copied the other .js code. Now I've pasted it here. So now we can go back to the Wix article, find out what's next. So we already added those two backend functions, the .jsw and the .js. Next is the event handler. What is an event handler? It's basically saying an event is going to happen, and this is what I want you to do in this event. Follow all these steps, and this goes inside of your page code. So this you can copy and paste. Actually, don't copy and paste the one in the Wix article. I'll tell you why in a bit. Use my link to copy and paste the one in my file. I changed it just a little bit. The other one did not work. So go to page code. We're going to copy. And now we're going to go to the page. So this is where my form is. I know it looks a little fuzzy on your screen, but that's because I did some Wix code on there already. I'm going to open up the code class page code. Well, mine says code class because that's what I named my page, but yours is going to be the page code. And over here at the bottom right hand corner it'll say open. You can open it just a little, or you can maximize it. On here, if you already have some code written in, don't overwrite it. Add an extra space and paste the other code. When you paste it, there'll be some errors on there automatically because everything that I had on my code to match my page won't match yours. So this is where you start replacing those words and those ID codes and all that stuff. So let's do that now. I'm going to minimize it so I can look. I'm going to make it smaller so I can look at the code as I look at my elements. So right here, believe it or not, there's a background strip. For now, I'm going to unhide it just so it won't go away each time I'm trying to click away from it. Here's my data set. This is the first one I'm going to need. So at the bottom of the code, right where that little exclamation mark comes out, it says this data set is not recognized. Well, of course not, because it came from a different place. So I'm going to modify the name. Mine is called dataset1. This is where you enter your dataset name. As soon as you put the correct name, it automatically removes the error. Then you go a little bit more down. Basically, on the part where it says function, send form data, and then it says subject equals, well, on mine, mine says new authority request confirmed for. Those are actual words that are going to come out in the subject line, so you can change this. You can say submission successful or something like that. And then you can put the word for, and where it says hashtag input 1, you can actually change it to match the name of this person or whatever field you have inside of your form. I'm going to put input 1, so it's already there, input 1. So whenever I receive an email, it's going to say, the subject will say submission successful for, and then the person's name, because that is what they're typing inside of input 1 in this user element. For the body, it'll be all the other elements. All you have to do is literally just copy and paste. If you need extra ones, just copy and paste the same one over and over and over. Replace the words that need to be replaced. For example, if you wanted to say email, if you wanted to say website, it'll have that slash and then the little R and then it says website. Change these words to match whatever you actually have on your form. Skype ID. And then in each little hashtag, go into your editor, hover over it, and actually put the correct hashtag name that it has there. So this one is input 2, and then I have an input 3, and I'm assuming I have an input 4. I don't know if those are the correct ones for those matching ones. I just wanted to put something just to show you how to fill it in. So then the recipient, there's a line that says recipient. That is where you put the email address, find the user element where you collected that person's email, if you will be sending an email to that person, and go ahead and add it into that little code. So this one's going to be input number 2, and that's done. The bottom code says send email with recipient, and then it's telling it what to do, and then send email to yourself. So one's going to be to that person, and one's going to be to you, the email that with the email address that never changes inside of your code. So after that's done, you're basically done. Let's go back to the article. It says modifying the code. It basically explains the same thing. Modify the code, add it, delete it, etc., etc. So let's test it. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to publish. Now, we're going to test it out. So my form is located under Resources and Code Class. That's where I have my enrollment form. I'm going to click Apply Now, and this is a form. So it'll be my name, Nayeli G. My email, well, let me see. I think I'm going to receive a whole bunch of emails to the same email. My website, my Skype ID, I don't know. I'll just click yes, yes, notes, test. That's not going to come out because I didn't put it in the code, but you would just add those extra lines and add those elements, and English and Spanish. And I'm going to click submit. So after it submits it, right here I get the thank you confirmation page for signing up. And I should get an email. So let's go to my email. Ah, there it is. Submission successful for Nayeli G. So yeah, it sent it from me via SendGrid, and it has all the information that I did type in. The Nayeli G, my email, website, and Skype ID says, I don't know. So you just play around with the code so you can add the other names or remove the names or add the info or remove the info if you want to display that information and receive it by email. If not, if you just want a simple, hey, you got a new message, go check out your website, you can do that as well. Hopefully that helped. Questions? Love it. I know I do. So this one was using the SendGrid API. A fellow designer is actually working on doing the Gmail API. So I don't know. I think you're going to have to subscribe to see when that actually comes out. See you soon.